Hi, everyone. Welcome to Shhhcrets. Before we get into it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like raw, unfiltered opinions and the kind of truth that makes folks squirm a little. In this episode, I'm dragging Delusion into the light and making it do a walk of shame in broad daylight. Because I am sick and tired of watching grown women embarrass themselves in 4K while blaming the internet for their own bad decisions. If you haven't caught up yet, Love is Blind's very own Ashley Adionser. Yes, her real name is Adionser, but we're calling her Nonsense today. Recently sat down with fellow bird of a feather AD in what should have been a therapy session, but turned into a masterclass in dodging accountability. I watched that interview so you wouldn't have to, and baby, it was 60 minutes of "it wasn't me, they misunderstood me," and Jessie Woo is the problem. Let's start with the basics for those who've been busy living productive lives. Ashley appeared on Love is Blind Season 6 and somehow ended up married to Tyler, who, from the jump, gave walking red flag with Wi-Fi. Dude literally told her post-engagement that he was a sperm donor, and somehow Ashley still said, "Sounds like husband material to me." She ignored every flag like she was colorblind, and then spent months defending him while simultaneously telling the world, "F them kids." Yes, she really said that, indirectly but clearly. People weren't dragging her because she got married. We were dragging her because she was acting like her marriage made her morally superior while she sat next to a man who lies like it's a love language. She didn't just marry Tyler the liar. She defended him, blamed the audience, and came for people who were actually trying to help her. And now, in this new interview, sis doubled down on the delusion. Let's talk about that interview. First of all, AD just sat there nodding like a bobblehead with a soft mic. No pushback, no accountability, just a cozy little safe space for Ashley to rewrite history like the receipts aren't sitting all over the internet. The narcissism jumped out and brought backup. Jessie Woo, who had your back, defended you, and gave you far more grace than you deserved, is now suddenly your op girl. Jessie was booked and busy long before you stumbled into this Netflix clown parade. And if we're being honest, we had almost forgotten you existed. Nobody was waking up thinking, you know what? Let's take Ashley and her deadbeat down today. The sheer delusion it takes to believe that Jessie, or any black woman for that matter, has the time, energy, or desire to plot your downfall is wild. Ma'am, who are you? Nobody is preying on you, Ashley. You simply got caught in your own web of bad choices and loud wrongness, and now you're scrambling to find someone else to blame. But, baby, accountability is free and you still can't afford it. She blamed Jessie Woo for exposing the truth, like Jessie wasn't the one who originally had her back harder than Tyler ever did. Jessie went hard for her, posted, defended, caped up in public, only to get thrown under the bus by the same woman she was trying to save. I know betrayal when I see it, and that was a masterclass in backstabbing. Ashley claimed she was just being loyal to Tyler, said she was spiraling and trauma bonded and didn't know everything that was going on. But let's be real, you knew enough. You knew enough to defend a man with a track record of lies. You knew enough to get online and throw shade at single women, talking about, "Some of y'all haven't been married and it shows." Let's be clear, that wasn't just a flex. That was a jab, a slick one, a loud and wrong one. And now that the audience clapped back, you're playing misunderstood Maiden? No, ma'am. You weren't pushed into Tyler's arms by the audience. You ran there in heels. You ignored warnings like it was your job. And when folks like Jessie Woo and Ricky started doing the investigative work that Netflix clearly didn't, you should have said thank you. But instead, you acted like they were clout chasing when they were just fact checking. And speaking of facts, how is it that you claim you've been in therapy for a year and still don't see yourself? Your therapist must be charging you by the delusion because nothing's changed. You sat in that interview sounding like someone who thinks growth is just changing fonts in your IG apology. You had the perfect victim arc. You're gorgeous. You were lied to, manipulated, and humiliated publicly. People wanted to root for you, but then you opened your mouth, disrespected the kids, shaded single women, and acted like we were the problem. Sis, we weren't the problem. You just didn't want to admit you played yourself. The saddest part is you still don't get it. You're mad that people didn't coddle you while you stood by a man who embarrassed you on every platform possible. And then you had the nerve to come for Jessie Woo, a woman who, let me remind you again, went harder for you than your own husband ever did. The audacity is loud and the accountability is on mute. You weren't gaslit, you lit the match yourself. You weren't manipulated into defending him. You volunteered. And blaming others doesn't make you look strong. It makes you look like a pick-me who still thinks loyalty to a liar is a flex. This episode wasn't about healing. It wasn't about truth. It was about damage control, and it flopped. You could have come back humbled and self-aware, and people would have embraced you. But instead, you chose spin over sincerity. And AD, girl, that whole interview was so soft, it could have been an ASMR sleep podcast. What were you even doing? You let her cook herself in front of 100,000 people while acting like it was a redemption arc. Anyway, that's all for today's episode. If you've ever ignored a red flag so loud it had surround sound, let this be your reminder. Loyalty doesn't mean losing your mind. And accountability, it is still free and is still sexy.